Hello, dear friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. The topic I would like to discuss today is something that I must admit I don't fully understand, but it's incredibly interesting. I'm excited to introduce our special guest, Oksana Avdeeva, who is a speaker from the international online school Mindfulline. Please welcome.
Hi, Elena.
Hi, Oksana. You know, when I first heard about neurographics, I felt a sense of tension because it seemed incomprehensible. It doesn't fit neatly into categories like medicine, science, or art. It's something new and unique. I was talking with my friend, Olga Kolesnikova, who is a stylist and someone I've been friends with for many years. And I told her I'm going to have an interview with Oksana, and she practically jumped out of her seat. You're going to have Oksana? I've taken several courses with Mindfulline. And I replied skeptically, and so what? What? She responded, it's amazing. It has completely transformed my life. Everything has changed. I can personally attest to that. She had a dream of getting married, and she found a wonderful partner and got married. She also gained the financial means to pursue her passion for traveling, and her business started thriving. And she tells me all of this is thanks to the Mindfulline classes with Oksana. So, dear friends, please don't consider this an advertisement. I'm simply sharing how things are. You can verify it for yourself. Olga Kolesnikova, a stylist who has worked with me on TV for 20 years. Now, Oksana, please tell us, what is it? What can bring about such a drastic transformation in life?
Well, first of all, let me make a slight correction to what you said. Nowadays, there have been several dissertations defended on the topic of neurographics, including several doctoral theses, not just PhDs. These dissertations are often defended in the field of psychology, so it's already closely associated with science.
Indeed.
We can officially classify neurographics as art. There are even exhibitions dedicated to showcasing neurographics works.
But not medicine.
Neurographics is not medicine. I don't think it's going to be officially recognized as a medical practice. The field of medicine is reserved for licensed healthcare professionals. It's closer to psychology. From my perspective as a psychologist, it's closer to psychology and art.
So now tell me, what is it? What is it all about?
I would describe it as a creative method for modeling and shaping one's own reality. By drawing, we stimulate the creation of new neural connections and effectively program our brain to seek out new opportunities. Whether someone needs money, wants to improve relationships, enhance well-being, increase energy levels, tap into their creativity, or find a sense of purpose, neurographics can be applied to all these areas.
Look, I'm a terrible skeptic. That's why I need to know a little bit more. Otherwise, it's just like saying I will come to you and give you happiness.
It's similar to a child learning from their experiences. For example, if a child touches a hot stove and gets burned once or twice, they learn not to touch it again.
Right.
Or, for example, when it's raining outside, we instinctively know what to wear. This accumulation of experiences helps our brain form standard programs for how we respond and react. However, these standard reactions that once served us well in making the right decisions can limit us in new situations. So our experiences serve as the foundation for our thinking process. And the impressions we receive during these experiences also contribute to our way of thinking. So, how does a person perceive and interpret the reality around them? Well, if a person has a lifetime of experiences where money is seen as evil or scarce, and acquiring money is believed to be difficult, that person will naturally develop a mindset that aligns with these beliefs. They'll unconsciously create barriers and limitations for themselves when it comes to money. This is because they have a neural program that has encoded the belief that money is challenging to obtain. And as a result, they'll constantly seek confirmation to reinforce this belief. The interesting thing is that for a person, whatever they believe in becomes their truth. This is where neurographics comes in. Its task is to create a new scenario in a person's brain to pave a new and unconventional path of thinking.
All right, I got it about money. What about relationships? How did my friend find herself a husband?
In the context of relationships, the process works in a similar way. How does a person accumulate this baggage of neural connections and beliefs about relationships? It's based on personal experiences. Something didn't work out, you really liked a boy, but he fell in love with someone else. Additionally, we observe the positive and negative relationship patterns in our parents and grandparents. The collective unconscious can also influence the formation of beliefs and relationships. For example, the belief that men are scarce and that there's not enough available for everyone, or the idea that one must compete for a partner, these can contribute to the formation of personal beliefs. So, for your friend, it took drawing enough neurographics works and forming new neural connections to break free from her own stereotypical way of thinking. And as a result, she became open to seeing new opportunities that were always there but previously unnoticed. Opportunities are constantly present, but our perception and mindset can limit our ability to recognize them. Let me give you an example. This summer, I bought my son a car for his birthday, and I was selecting the model of the
Do you mean
car.
a toy car?
No, a real car.
Ah, real
I have
car.
a
I see
grown-up
you have a
son.
grown-up son. You are so young. That's why I thought you were talking about a toy.
Well, before, I didn't pay any attention to this type of car. It simply wasn't my point of focus.
All right.
I didn't see them. But as soon as I bought this specific model of a car, I started seeing them everywhere. It works the same way. Oftentimes, we don't see opportunities unless we allow ourselves to see them, unless we draw, unless we create a new path towards these opportunities. And as soon as we create that path, we suddenly begin to see opportunities all around us, and life starts to change. We step out of our layer of reality and begin to live in other layers or reality as well. This is not mysticism. This is not magic. This is the realm of psychology and neurographics.
Who can engage in drawing neurographics?
Everyone can, and everyone should, without limitations.
All right, let's consider my situation. I can't draw. I enjoy it, but I'm not skilled at it. The most I can do is color by numbers, so I fill in the colors and then show these pictures to others, pretending that I actually drew it myself. What should I do? I can manage to connect two lines, but something more complex seems challenging.
I believe that in your case, neurographics will work even a bit faster than if you were a professional artist, because professional artists are, in a way, bound by stereotypes. They've been trained to draw correctly, beautifully. They know the principles of composition and color combinations, and neurographics is something different. Anyone can do it beautifully, because we round off everything in neurographics. By rounding off, we are smoothing out all the conflicts. We're tapping into the archetype of the circle, which is an ancient symbol representing the sun, the mother's belly, the star, the deity, the source, and harmony. When we round off everything, it is as if we are inscribing a circle, and it will turn out beautiful no matter what. By the time the drawing is finished, we ensure that it is harmonious, which is why even beginners can create pleasing results. It will truly turn out beautifully. The main focus of neurographics is not on beauty, but on the outcomes it brings.
Who invented this method?
The method was founded by Pavel Piskarov, who is a doctor of science.
Is he an artist or a psychologist?
He is a psychologist.
A psychologist.
Yes, a psychologist. And my best greetings to him, and I'd like to express my gratitude for this method.
How many people in how many countries are already practicing neurographics?
As for students of our school, I believe the number is around 80 countries. We recently reviewed the statistics during a call with my team, and we have a wide reach.
Well, I heard that mindfulline has around 800,000 students.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, 800,000 students.
How long have you been working?
A little less than 3 years.
That's truly remarkable.
Yes, absolutely. This is fascinating. It's the power of neurographics. And if you don't mind, I would love to share my story. Because, in fact, I am inclined towards science and scientific disciplines in life. I like to.
So, what is your profession?
I have a degree in economics and management. I taught at the university for several years and was head of the correspondence department. Then my interest shifted towards psychology, so I requalified. Since then, it's been, well, I haven't counted exactly, but it's been many years that I've been working in the field of psychology, hypnotherapy, and art therapy. And that's why when neurographics came into my life, it was love at first line. I immediately realized that this method is bound to be effective, as it allows us to delve deep into our subconscious, where all the destructive programs and limitations are stored. But it's also in the subconscious where all of our resources are stored, and neurographics helps us access them. As for drawing, personally for me,
Did you already know how to draw?
I have loved drawing my entire life. Although I had just taken a few lessons, I simply enjoy the act of drawing. So when I started practicing neurographics for myself in 2019, I developed this strong idea to try teaching it online for some reason. Well, back then I had a small retail business, but I started to have this feeling that it was going to collapse very soon. I really couldn't explain that feeling. And to be honest, I still know very little about online business. So I was just drawing and envisioning the idea of having an online business. I had a small group where I was teaching neurographics in our city, and there was a girl named Anastasia who joined my group. Well, for several months, she had been drawing on the same topic as I did during the classes, focusing on having an online business. And then on the eve of 2020, she calls and says, "Hey, let's go for a walk." And there we are, walking around the Christmas tree on the main square of our little town. And she says, "Let's create a school of neurographics." And I reply, "Nastya, I don't know much about it." And she says, "Well, I do. You're a great expert, and I know how to do business online." So I said, "Let's give it a try." And so there we were. We decided to give it a try and started a school.
It was an online school.
Yes, it was an online school.
Oh,
And then the
yeah.
pandemic hit. My retail business collapsed while the school experienced incredible growth. So everyone went into lockdown when we launched our first course, and our popularity skyrocketed right away.
Do I understand correctly that if I start drawing on my own, there is no guarantee of success? A coach or a mentor to see significant results?
It's recommended to draw neurographics with an instructor to gain an understanding of the base algorithm. In neurographics, we always follow specific steps in our
Uh-huh.
drawings. This is a process based method. The base
All
algorithm
right.
consists of 8 steps. Each of the steps takes us to a specific layer in our subconscious. This is the level of the ego, personal unconscious, collective unconscious, egregores, and archetypes, all the way down to the self, the very spark of God that is within each of us. And through drawing, we tap into an incredible source of energy. We release destructive beliefs and access inner
Can you
resources.
give us an example of destructive beliefs that you could get rid of?
Any. What belief hinders you on your way to achieving your dream?
Let's say I am afraid of failure.
Being afraid of failure. That's how you set a topic for yourself then.
Uh-huh.
For the
Okay.
drawing session. And you go through the algorithm where at the end, your topic may already sound like, "How interesting. I am not afraid anymore." Or, "How interesting. I'm ready to try." That is, your state changes in the process of drawing.
And if we talk about relationships, let's say there is someone you like who doesn't feel the same way about you.
Well, when it comes to other people, we can't do anything. It violates the law of free will of another person. We can draw, for example, on the topic of, "I want to get married," but we can't specifically draw on the topic of, "I want to marry Jack," because Jack might not want to marry me.
But I want to marry Jack.
Well, this is a selfish personal preference.
Why is it selfish?
Well, it is.
Not
Is
necessarily.
it not? Is it not? It's your personal desire, what your ego wants, right? But what if the universe has someone else who's ideal for you, someone else who is meant to
But
be with
where
you?
is he? Where?
And there you go. That's why we draw on the topic, "I want an ideal relationship." And we allow something bigger than us to put everything together in the most favorable way so that our best partner comes into our life in the best possible time.
And is that person better than Jack that I want to be
But it
with?
might turn out that your Jack is indeed the best partner for you, in which case everything will work out with him. But
So please, tell me, how much time does it take? Say today I drew that I want Jack. When will it happen?
that's a very good question.
Forget about the other guy then. When will anybody enter my life?
A very good question. For some people, just 2 or 3 drawings are enough, and everything manifests itself. And I can give you my personal
Yes,
example.
please do.
Nobody from my followers actually
Oh,
knows.
exclusive news.
Well, I'm going to tell my followers about it before our video comes out.
Intriguing.
So before the new year, I was looking for an apartment in the center of the city. I fell in love with one at first sight, but it turned out that there was no available apartments with that magical view. They were all sold
Uh-huh.
out. That's when I shared it with my followers, how much I liked it and that I was going to draw on that topic. And I made a drawing, and then several weeks passed, and I just kept looking at that drawing.
Okay, so the drawings consist of these
Yes.
mindful lines?
It's the mindful lines. Mindful lines. Well, that's neurographics. So, what do you think? My realtor calls me and says, I have one. Let's go see.
Oh, really?
So, this week, on the day before yesterday, I went to see it. And it was everything I had drawn. The beautiful view I wanted, the perfect floor. They were offering the minimum price. It had a fantastic view. Additionally, I got a personal tour of the roof, which was an amazing place. So I signed the documents for this apartment yesterday. Can you imagine just one drawing?
That's amazing.
I am still shocked myself.
Perhaps you have advanced so much that just one drawing is enough for
Yes, I
you.
have. However, I spent 9 months drawing on the topic of starting the online school. In essence, it felt like I was carrying a baby.
Well, what about an ordinary person? How much time does it take?
It's very individual. It depends on how long a person has been blocking themselves with destructive beliefs. If these beliefs have been ingrained for a significant period of time, the neural connections associated with them become very strong. And there are sparks running between the neurons. So it's like a high voltage cable. How long will it take to create a new one that's equally charged? It's highly individual and can vary.
That's right, no one knows.
However, each drawing serves its purpose. And it often happens that when you start drawing relationships with men, you see improvements in your financial sphere or better relationships with your children, because everything is interconnected, especially for women. Often a person enrolls, say, in a relationships course, and they message us saying that there are no results in relationships, but it has shifted career-wise, or they reconciled with their child. Yes, that happens.
I see, so it works.
Yes, it works like that.
How do I know if it's working? Is there a specific deadline? So it can work after the first drawing or after several months, like the example of 9 months you mentioned. But when should I realize it's not working and give up? Just not to waste time.
Dr. Piskarev says that you have to draw 40 drawings.
40 drawings. And how much time does it take to make one?
It might take up to 2.5 hours in the beginning.
You work 2.5 hours on one drawing.
There you go. Can I ask you a counter question? Have you ever tried therapy, Elena?
I was a psychology major at one time.
Have you tried therapy yourself?
No, I haven't. But I was taking my child to therapy at one point when she was doing sports.
Well, as a practicing psychologist, I can say that when a person comes to therapy with a specific inquiry, it might take up to a year of weekly sessions until they get the results. So an hour session once a week. And if we convert that to neurographics, well, it doesn't seem so much to draw for 2.5 hours. To spend this time with the main person in your life, that is, with yourself, to dedicate time to yourself and to transforming your own life. People want everything to work out just like this. People really want miracles.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just trying to figure out how to know if you're really using your time productively. For example, after a session with a therapist, spending an hour together, you come out feeling, I don't know, relieved or with some other understandings. And how does that work with drawing? After you draw, will there be a feeling that something has happened, even if your situation was not resolved? Will you still feel that it was useful or anything at all?
Yes, you will, as we always draw and ask ourselves questions. At each step of the algorithm, a person asks themselves, how did my emotional state change?
Okay.
What am I feeling? How does my body react? What do I feel in my body? What thoughts pop up in my head now? How are they connected to my inquiry? And is there another thing that we can pay attention to? An abstract internal image. We can ask a person to close their eyes in the beginning and see if there's an image in front of their eyes. Then at each step, they close their eyes again and see if something has changed in that image.
And what can you see?
Anything at all. For example, a person draws on the topic of success, and then they close their eyes and they see a soccer ball. Then at the second step, when they round things off, they close their eyes again and say the ball starts to bounce. And the next step, say there's a whole team playing with this ball. And
All
in the
right.
end, for example, a person sees how they score a goal. It doesn't mean anything. It just indicates that there is some process underway. But as a rule, at the end of the drawing, ideally, there is a wow effect. When a person looks at the new reality they've just drawn and they like it, they feel delighted. Warmth spreads through their body and the blocks go away. They want to smile. They want to take action and do something. This is the format of coaching as
I
well.
see. And so then you just draw.
Yes, but the thing is, we don't just make drawings and neurographics. With the help of circles, triangles, squares, and lines, we build our reality. Our brain doesn't differentiate the reality that we draw from real life. Actually, it's the same for the brain. And we draw ourselves, our partner, our children, and say our communication. So, what do I want? How do I want this communication to be? For example, I want it to be filled with love, understanding, and wisdom. So, through the visual, I tell my story. I assign meanings. I set the program. Some may see a beautiful picture, but as the author, I see my reality.
Right. Look, when I was little, my mom used to tell me that if I wanted my dream to come true, I needed to imagine it. For example, many athletes, before they go to a tournament or run, visualize the route in their minds or mentally rehearse winning the match. And I've been told that's how you program yourself for victory or to achieve whatever it is that you are dreaming of. Is it similar to what you are doing, but instead you do it through drawing? So you program yourself to win.
Yeah, I would say it's similar to what we do. The difference is that we also engage our motor skills, activate our mirror neurons, and visually perceive the lines, shapes, and meanings we put into it. But we draw a neurographic line with resistance. We draw it so that it is different at every part of its own movement. And this is where the very magic of neurographics comes in. We are literally drawing a new route to our goal, to our desired outcome. And many experience resistance on a physical level too. See, the brain is used to everything that's familiar, that's standard. And when you go beyond those boundaries, resistance might manifest in you being so irritated by the drawing that you just want to tear it apart. So it might get tense instead of relaxing, or your children might become really noisy, or your phone starts blowing up with calls. Yes, the world is static. It doesn't like changes, and so is the brain. But overcoming this resistance, we can experience this wow effect when we push through. It's as if we break through, as if the chains of our consciousness have
And you
been
realize a
broken.
miracle has occurred.
Yes, you know it started to work, and something is going to change.
Fantastic. And can a person stand nearby you and help you draw?
I wouldn't recommend that. To me, neurographics is like personal therapy, a way of reprogramming oneself. I prefer to ensure that my new reality is shaped solely by my own beliefs and intentions without anyone else's influence, even if it's well intentioned.
Can a person do harm to themselves with neurographics?
If they draw correctly, then no, because we round everything off.
You say correctly, so that means you can draw it incorrectly too?
Yes, you can. Unfortunately, now many people draw it in an incorrect way because the word neurographics has become extremely popular, and everyone seems to be trying to teach it without proper qualifications. To teach it, a person should be qualified as an instructor at the very least, and that means completing a retraining program, earning 2 diplomas, conducting a fair number of sessions with clients, successfully passing the diploma exams, and having hundreds of works approved.
And what does it mean incorrectly? Does it refer to not drawing beautifully?
No, drawing incorrectly means that the steps of the base algorithms were not followed correctly. Not everything is being rounded off, or you round off incorrectly when there's no
And how?
understanding of why you're doing it. See, in neurographics, we understand clearly what and why we're doing it each and every step. You need to learn it. We offer an incredible course specifically designed for beginners, by the way. The course teaches you how the method works and how to draw correctly, effectively, and sustainably. It provides an opportunity to work through any topic in your life and explore any inquiry at all.
Do you have any rituals when you're getting ready or when you're drawing? I don't know. Maybe you light some candles. Maybe you play some nice music. Maybe it's better to do it before you go to sleep when your mind is already at ease.
Well, ideally, neurographics is drawn in silence. Even music can tune us
I
to a
see.
certain state, and we
Uh-huh.
want to draw without being influenced by external factors. Not by music either. See, if it's in another language, we might actually be drawing to something that we don't want to be part of our new programs, but without understanding the lyrics, we might do it
It can
unintentionally.
even happen like this.
And why would we want that? Yes. So I wouldn't recommend drawing with a TV in the background either. That's why I personally draw in silence. And sometimes I light candles for the ambiance because I really like them. Not because it's some kind of ritual, but because I love fire and it's beautiful to me. And one thing about sleep that I want to mention. So, it is believed that the program we draw in neurographics is literally installed in the brain, embedded in our neural circuit during sleep. And that's why we have a rule in neurographics: one topic per day. And I can even specify it like this: one topic before the time you go to sleep.
So before
Not
sleep.
necessarily. But
Okay.
when you draw a topic, it's only after you sleep and get up, and then you can look at the drawing one more time and ask yourself whether you like it or not, if you want to add something about what it can mean to you. So
Uh-huh.
the installation of the programs that we draw takes place during the time we sleep.
Oksana, we've been talking a lot, and I think people would love to see how it looks. Could you show us your drawings and explain what each one represents? So, what is it?
Yeah, I can show them, of course, and I'll try to explain. Well, this is my year, 2023. See, I've been drawing for the first 12 days of the year, just little by little.
So, you drew this for 12 days.
Right, but it was on purpose. So on the 1st of January, I asked myself, what do I want this day to be about? What are my intentions? And I decided that I wanted this year to be easy and filled with many interesting things. So I asked myself, what color is that intention? And it's mint. So I drew this minty part. Then the second day, what do I add? I wanted air, lightness, new projects. And what color does that represent? Blue. So blue and light blue.
And did you draw the circles yourself, or did you use an instrument?
No, I drew them myself. We draw everything with our hands. So, this is the program of the current year for me. It shows my travelings, events, and
Could you
activities.
explain where the travelings are?
These represent the trips. In this drawing, it's circles exclusively.
Circles.
See, the circle symbolizes that everything will turn out smoothly, but I know which event each circle represents. See, this represents an active start of the year, and
All
as
right.
you see, I came for an interview with you. I bought an
Where is
apartment.
the apartment?
Oh, here's my apartment.
Okay.
It's a separate drawing. Then it's my
Uh-huh.
birthday, and there's a wonderful trip to Uzbekistan that's on the list. Yeah, but the main event, for some reason, is here. In neurographics, we call it the main figure. It stands for something very important, something life changing, and it's going to happen in the second half of the year for me, and it will include several events. By the way, sometimes we draw a circle with the meaning of, I don't know what it is, but it is certainly going to be something harmonious. The circle is the most harmonious figure. And here it is. I just drew one piece, the apartment.
So, do colors have meanings?
We choose the colors based on our intuition. When we start coloring in, it is the stage of integration. And this is when we reach the level of archetyping, of the collective unconscious. So we ask ourselves, what does this color mean to me in this specific topic? So I ended up having sort of a corridor here. For myself, I interpreted it in a way that there would be two key events and things would just sort out easily. And that's how it happened.
Does it matter that this is an even circle and this one is not?
No, it doesn't matter. Even if it looks like an oval, it's still round. It has no angles. This is an algorithm called the Star of Gratitude. Before the new year, I really wanted to express gratitude for everything that happened in my life in the previous year. It certainly wasn't easy, but for me, it was very powerful, very
And how
bright.
do you express
It's
gratitude?
experienced through the meanings that you put in this algorithm. It's the meanings. And we always work with the lines, circles, triangles, and squares. Oh, by the
There are
way,
triangles too.
yes, there are. I didn't take these drawings
And
with
does it
me.
matter? Triangles,
Yes, it
squares?
does. A triangle is something active and energetic. It's pushy. It exudes energy, but at the same time, it's also sharp. When you draw a triangle, be ready for some aggravation. But of course, there are spheres in life where you can't do without triangles. You can't live in an all round world for too long. Sometimes you have to assert your boundaries, and at times, maybe even be a bit harsh, and that's where the triangle comes into play. The square represents stability, reliability, and support. It's something fundamental. At the same time, it can symbolize heaviness. And it's about being restrained within certain boundaries. So each time you work with a certain topic, you reflect on what a certain figure means to you in the context of your topic. For example, a square in the topic of relationships might indicate feeling
Uh huh.
stuck. And what should you do? Well, you can try working with a triangle, and that might require being really straightforward with each other. And then a circle, and you know you're on your way to sorting things out and finding harmony. Knowing how to work with different figures and learning the steps of the algorithm, that's all covered in the Neurographics Essentials course. And I invite everyone to join us in this course. Anyone who wants to try this marvelous method. You can draw about almost any situation.
Do the colors have their meanings? For example, the black color, is it a bad color?
We have a separate course about colors, and we
Oh,
discuss a certain concept of colors during this course. Black is a marvelous color. It's a color of luxury and wealth.
black.
And why
Well,
not? And it might be different in different drawings. Let's take red, for instance. Well, black, we draw lines in black as it provides the maximum contrast on white. And what about red? See, many people are actually afraid of red, but for some, it could be the color of passion. In the topic of relationship between a mother and a child, it can represent the color of blood relation, while for others, red can be the color of roses or presents, something like that. For some, it might indicate a flag, and it all depends on the specific topic. When you draw on a different topic, there might be a new association.
oh, so it's not like a dream
No,
book
no,
where it says
no.
red is about love.
No, each time the association with a certain color is different. There may be a whole variety of associations with just one color.
Of course.
That's one way to connect to our subconscious, by the way. You draw, you ask yourself questions, and some hints from the subconscious come to the conscious. And then there may be no hints altogether, but neurographics works either way.
How interesting.
I always include a description for my works so that I don't forget what I was drawing about. Here is a series of favorable events from the end of last year. There are prizes and awards and the completion of the course. I received several awards at the end of last year, Person of the Year and Expert of the Year. And our school was awarded the top neurographics project in our country, and we are top 50 of all the schools.
And how did you manage that?
We worked, we drew, we played. Actually, if you asked me, what is my biggest secret? I would say I play with it. I don't take it too seriously. The minute it gets too serious, the perceived importance increases and everything begins to fall apart. When we were starting our project, we were just walking around the Christmas tree and thought, well, let's give it a try just because we love it. And now we have been doing it for more than 3 years.
And more people join you?
Yes, playing in that and setting goals that seem unreal to achieve in our lives. And the universe seems to unfold these layers of life in such an interesting way. The roles of victim, fighter, explorer, player.
Victim fighter?
Yes, when a person goes through the stages of being a victim, for instance, blaming everyone, a fighter starts to fight with the world. The explorer starts to learn and seek out new opportunities to think, develop, and try something new. And the player is just playing around. There's also the role of a master, but it's boring to be a master for a long time. You want to
It
play?
is so interesting to listen to you. Can I try?
Yes, let's try, sure.
Let's do it.
We'll start with the main thing, with the neuro line. I'll show you, and then you'll try it yourself.
Okay.
The secret of the neuro line is its non-stereotypical nature. See, this is a stereotype.
All right.
If we follow it, we follow one and the same path. What we need is a line that doesn't repeat itself, and we just slightly change its direction at each point as we continue drawing the line. At the same time, we don't want it to look sharp. We want it to resemble the contours of clouds. And look, if I divide it into segments, then each segment doesn't resemble the other one, right? It was not simple for me to draw it, actually. I feel like the gears in my head are starting to turn. As I put my hand on the paper, I feel where my hand wants to draw. It's in this direction, but I direct it
Okay.
otherwise.
Oh, so you are just pushing through.
Right. I'm feeling this new path and I'm diverting from the stereotypical way of thinking. So
I
if
see.
you draw the mindful line correctly in each drawing, you would literally sweat because it feels as if you're working out, and it is work indeed. Would you like to try it?
Sure, on the same sheet?
Okay, let me get you a new sheet of paper.
All right.
You can think of a certain sphere of your life now.
Can I say it out
Yeah,
loud?
sure.
Let's say I want a new interesting project.
Okay, a new project.
Yes.
So now try drawing the neuro line while keeping in mind the topic of a new project.
Oh my God, what is it? I don't even know.
How does it feel?
A feeling of mediocrity.
Well, that's a value judgment, but okay, why don't we just keep going?
It looks odd to me.
Okay, I suggest that you draw a circle somewhere on this line.
A circle?
Yes, a circle that will symbolize, let's say, that you have the project that you're dreaming of.
A circle. It doesn't look too good.
Okay,
Okay.
you can cross the line here.
Right.
Good. Now let's round it off. Round it off at the line. Let me show you in my drawing. So how do we round off? So there's an intersection, and any intersection is a conflict, and we are inscribing sort of a drop here, a semicircle, just bringing out the line. So there was a conflict, and now it's rounded off, right? And we filled it in. Here, everything seems good,
Well,
right?
here is a conflict.
There you go. So fill in this area, this conflict. Let's eliminate all the conflicts just to be on the safe side. And here as well.
Oh, and you see it like this right away?
Of course. And here too.
Right. Yeah. Just to be on the safe side.
And here you happen to create extra few for some reason.
I must have a scandalous temper, or else why would I do it
Yeah,
myself?
just for no reason.
Right. I created myself a conflict just like that. Now I am starting to realize that's just my temper.
And you have received an insight
They
about
told
yourself.
me so, but I didn't believe.
See, and these two over here.
And now I see I'm a scandalous woman. So that's how you do it. There you
Yeah.
go. Beautiful.
See, it already looks more harmonious. Now, ideally, you would want to smooth out these tails too.
I'll round it off.
You will make it super smooth, so it gives a pleasant impression.
Right, it's so nice and clean.
Pay attention to what is happening the next couple of days. Something might start to change already, even though we haven't drawn anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet. We need to color it.
Yeah,
You have it
yeah.
colored so beautifully with different colors.
But it will work even like this. It's a life hack. So that's how it looks. You must agree, it's not easy.
Yes, doing it every day, it's not easy at all.
No, it's not. But it's a skill.
So you need to draw every day?
Not necessarily. You can draw as much as you want, depending on how charged the topic is. Some people are willing to start right away and work and draw each and every day. Personally, I don't draw every
And
day.
could you tell us about the courses you offer? What are they like? What can I consider for myself?
There are training courses. The Neurographics Essentials course is the base, the fundamentals of neurographics.
Is it what we were drawing just now?
Yes, it is about how to learn to draw correctly and learn all the steps of the algorithm. Then we have modeling courses. It's about creating your own algorithms depending on your inquiry, and that is already advanced level. Our school is, of course, famous for my signature courses, where I combined neurographics with my knowledge of psychology and other practices.
Even so.
Yes,
Please tell me more about
there
them.
is the neurohealing course. It's our first course, my signature course that we first entered the market with. This is a course where Yusin, knowledge from the traditional Chinese medicine, is included. Their concept of the 5 primary elements: bioenergetics, psychosomatics, ancestral programs are covered there. It's very interesting, such an in-depth course.
Ancestral programs.
Lectures combined with drawing, yes. And we also offer the course for relationships and the wealth code
Let's
course.
talk more about relationships and money. What is the relationships course
This
about?
course is about working on the relationships with yourself primarily, because it's impossible to develop a relationship with a partner when you're not in touch with yourself. It's about relationships with yourself, with your partner, a man or a woman, with parents, children, colleagues, employers. It includes algorithms to help improve communication. And there are algorithms to finish up relationships too. Relationships that are no longer serving you, or toxic relationships, or letting go of someone whom you lost, but it might be difficult to do so because of trauma. So, how to draw? How to deal with all this through drawing? Well, we learn all about that. We even learn to change relationships to material things. Some are just not good with their car, for instance.
I heard there is a technique that helps you find something you've lost.
Yes, that's our most popular life hack.
All right.
So, I'll tell you a story.
Please go ahead.
I love stories. When I was teaching in a group in my city, a lady that was renting us our studio came from Moscow. She was all upset. So I asked her, Marie, what's wrong? And she says, well, I think I left my wallet in the taxi yesterday. So I say, okay, we're going to draw neurographics. So I tell her, draw yourself as a circle. And she does. Then I say, now draw your wallet as a circle. And she does. Then I say, now draw neural lines between those two circles, putting a meaning in them that your wallet is found and that you find it. So she's sitting there drawing neural lines between the circles. All of a sudden, her friend, who was on the trip with her the other day, calls her and says, I am on my way to your place now to bring your wallet. Are you there? It worked instantly. So this life hack spread all over the internet right when we posted it. We made a video about it right when we had just started in 2020, and it's super popular now. People find all sorts of things with its help. Some people have even found people that have gone missing.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, of course, you can say, well, this would have been found either way. I mean, if it's glasses, ear pods, your pets, they would have been found either way. But we keep our statistics and we get a lot of reviews when people find things with the help of our life hack that they were not able to find for days. So, Elena, if you happen to lose something, we can find it. We can try.
Oh, good. So what else? This is super interesting, this life hack of yours.
Yes, we have many simple life hacks like that. I just love to be playful with life, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm constantly thinking of how we can simplify everyday tasks and situations. We even have a life hack called Find Your Balance.
What does it
Well,
mean?
it might happen that multitasking wins. See, typically, everybody always has so much to do during the day. This, and this, and that, and that. And then I think, well, now that's it. I can't handle it. I'm completely overwhelmed. So we offer a life hack that helps you find your balance. It's where you draw yourself on a balance beam, and some things just get solved by themselves, and the most important things remain, but you manage to solve it all in the most efficient manner. There's even a life hack on how to have a peaceful day. For instance,
Not to get stressed out.
yes, but it might be difficult at times. You can set it as an intention for yourself, but you might end up stressing out even more as you try not to stress out. As we draw several neural lines with a meaning of lightness and joy. And then we draw the most important things we need to do on those lines and round everything off. There's another life hack called a helper.
All right. And what is that?
It's when you need assistance in some task, and then you just draw yourself a figure of a helper. Then, suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, you get assistance out of the blue. And there are many more.
Is there a technique to remember something? In psychology, there is a technique to retrieve a memory that you have eliminated from your mind. For example, one might get rid of memories of a trauma from childhood. Can neurographics also help?
Regarding this, I'd ask, do you want to remember that or just work through that? Because you can retrieve a memory. There are various methods for that, but it seems to me the main goal is to work through it and make peace with it. You can use neurographics and go through all the steps of the algorithm, but I would get straight to working through the situation. And neurographics offers a variety of algorithms that help solve basically any inquiry. The most popular and well-known is the limitations removal algorithm. So following the steps of this algorithm, which we also call the release, and doing it several times, I assume you can reach your goal.
Okay, let me make it more complex. Say a child sees their father is not loyal to their mom. A child doesn't fully comprehend it, but they store this memory. And then when this person grows up, they don't trust men and are not able to start serious relationships. But they don't fully realize it as it is pushed from the consciousness. How can neurographics help?
Well, now we talk about, you ask it from the psychological perspective. See, in neurographics, we don't have to get to the root of the problem because what you're talking about, we call it a destructive program. And it's a certain experience we have that forms some impressions that are consciously or subconsciously influencing the way we think or behave, right? But when we draw and set a goal of reaching healthy, balanced relationships, while drawing neurographics, we will inevitably redraw our own beliefs and programs. We might remember the traumatic experience we had and worked through it, and we might not, on the other hand. But we will anyhow draw a new neural connection that will program creating harmonious relationships. And that's the beauty of neurographics. We can get the understanding, but it's not a must. We are simply following all the steps of the algorithm, and we get our inquiry solved.
If I want to improve relationships in my family, should I be drawing together with my child or my spouse? In other words, with a person I want to enhance relationships with.
This is an ideal scenario, if they agree for that. But this is not necessary because, personally, and not just in neurographics, but in life, I believe that I am the source. So if we talk about relationships that I'm not happy with, they exist in my life, in my reality. And to me, it means that somehow I ended up with the programs that hinder me, that make me shape my reality this way. For me, it's enough just to work with myself. So I start practicing neurographics and transforming relationships with myself.
So do I understand it correctly?
And relationships with others start to change too.
My partner doesn't change, but I change, and that is why our relationship improves?
I change, and suddenly, as a resonance, they change too. Because each of us live in our own little world. We all have our own reality. My world reflects the way I am and my way of thinking about it. But when I change, the world around me changes automatically. See, when something irritates us in another person, that's a shadow resource for us. The same thing is within ourselves, we just don't want to admit it. And we offer an amazing course on shadow work. So far, it's the most advanced course that we offer.
Shadow work?
Yes, shadow work. Our
Okay.
shadow sides. It's called Shadows, the Source of Power. Advanced neurographics artists join this course, people who are mindful and looking for deep inner work.
How shadows manifest.
That is exactly what I was talking about. When something irritates you, explore that part within you. The moment you accept it, you accept that the irritating thing that triggers you is within you as well. And this quality will stop irritating you then in that other person.
Really?
Yes, yes, this is
Got
classics.
it. And if we talk about some insecurities, everyone has some. Inferiority complex, feeling that you are talentless, insecurity about feeling not attractive, feeling like a loser, things like that. How can you work with this through drawing?
I'd formulate the topic for your drawing this way. In neurographics, we always draw on a certain topic. So you can formulate it as, I am a loser, and start drawing. Or start from the positive aspect of what I want to achieve. Basically, it doesn't matter how you formulate it. You just have to have a topic and follow the steps of the algorithm. This way, you can work and increase your motivation. Of course, you won't stop this destructive belief about yourself all at once, but you'll get a motivation to start learning something, to manifest differently, to do something. It's important to mention, neurographics helps accumulate the motivation for changes to start taking place and for us to take real actions, not just to draw. It motivates us to start learning, searching for a new job, improve your communication skills, take on a new project, take on a new experience that you were afraid of earlier. It helps accumulate energy.
But if I want to tune myself for success,
Yes, and that's a great way to do so. Just draw, draw, and draw. Mindful lines symbolize energy, pure energy.
so I just draw, round everything off, and it will result in me becoming successful at work?
Yes, if you know and follow all the steps of the base algorithm.
How much time does it take to learn them?
It's covered in the Neurographics Essentials course.
Is it difficult? Is it for everyone?
It is.
Because not everyone is quick witted, you know.
I believe that I talk about difficult things in a simple manner using simple language. And we receive many reviews on how clear and concise it is while being in-depth knowledge at the same time.
Listen, this is a new world. You are opening a new world for me. It's worth trying. Where do I start?
I would recommend just giving it a try to understand if you like it or not. It would be absurd to claim that absolutely everyone loves neurographics. It's just not like that. So give it a try. You can start with a small workshop. You can just try to see if the method suits you or not. How you feel drawing neurographics. Feel your very first changes and draw your first 3 drawings with us. I highly recommend it. And then you can make up your mind. If you get to like it, if you start seeing real changes, I suggest taking any of my signature courses, Wealth Code, Relationships, or the Neurographics Essentials course.
And everyone can do it.
Yes, if they make the effort, of course. But the main thing is motivation, because a person is ready for changes only when they just can't remain at the same level that they're currently at, when they just need to move on. Then they'll understand why they are dedicating time to that.
So you can just say, you are not ready, you should quit.
No, I don't ever say that to anyone. Everyone decides for themselves. But for sure, this will not suit a person who is looking for a magic bullet, who's saying, I made one drawing, so why doesn't it work? Right? First, just give it time. Maybe something is already underway. The surrounding reality is material. It's stagnant. It takes time to change. But it also takes time for our unique biocomputer, for our brain, to rewrite the destructive programs and patterns of behavior. And for that, you need to make sufficient amount of neurographics drawings.
Listen, you have persuaded me to give it a try, Oksana. First, it is beautiful.
We would be delighted to have you with us.
It's like in that joke. First of all, it's beautiful.
So please,
Thank you. And then we don't lose anything, right? If that suits you, great. If it doesn't suit you, it's okay. So give it about a month.
Yes, you can just give it a try and play in this game. Let me draw for a month how interesting it's going to be. And I always teach my students to live with this mindset. How interesting. So don't live thinking, it won't work, but I'll give it a try just to assure myself that it doesn't work. But rather live thinking, I wonder how my life is going to change in
It
a
is
month.
important to enjoy the process, right?
Yes.
Friends, Oksana convinced me to give it a try. The important thing, we don't risk anything. It won't hurt. Well, of course, taken, we round off all the angles. You will find more information about Mindfulline project in the description box below. Make sure you check this project out. It's much more than we had time to discuss today. Please like and share if you enjoyed today's video. Wishing you all the best and take care. Make a wish and it might come true already very soon.